They're going crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Oh man, we ain't doing this episode without the jackets. Hey, somebody bring me the jackets. y'all taking that shit off. Y'all putting jackets on.
Hey, he waited.
You've been sitting here for an hour.
I didn't think about that.
He said, I'm gonna do it. This gonna be smooth. Ain't nobody budged to get a jacket too.
Can you grab jackets?
What's it?
Yeah. Grab jackets.
Wow.
Yeah, was this stunt? Did the stunt end up
This was
in your mind?
No. Just hand them out. We'll hand them around. Hand them down.
Is this playing out how you thought it was gonna?
What you doing? Just give me that one. No, not mine.
Just give me that.
Give me that one too. All right, just give me all of them. All right, just give them all. Give them all. They all coming.
Hey, they always
give me
talk
that
about
one.
the cup spilling. This is gonna be the time to happen.
That's Shawn.
Hey,
That's me.
This is how they do it at Fox. That's okay. Take that shit off.
Man,
Take that shit
I
off.
was so excited to wear this.
I know.
Hold on, let's get you right first. Let's preview your team real quick.
Yeah,
Let's preview your team real quick.
Yeah.
It's way too hot here.
Yeah.
Something hit me this morning. Was like, you.
Yeah, we live. Hey, that's his wife. That's his wife.
Like he told us somebody.
This thing's puffy. I'm not gonna put it on. It's too hot.
Hey, hold on. Bring the energy down. Hold on. Slow down. All right.
I got hype like I ain't getting one.
I
got hype like I never had one.
Slow down.
This is a puffy coat.
This is the Porterway podcast.
Yep.
Showtime.
Do it.
Carson, Sean Zytel with his
jacket?
winning 49ers, and Anthony Bernal.
It says, "Oh, look at Sean."
Hooking it up.
It don't say B-side though.
Oh, it's okay. It's time to put it on.
What's yours say?
Mark couldn't say nothing else. I'm changing my name.
That's
Showtime.
I'm changing my name this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Officially?
Yeah.
Like Ocho Cinco?
Wifey not happy about
Oh, you can't. Don't.
Oh, you really doing it?
He's copying Hagler.
it. 100%. Give it.
I thought you were gonna deny it for a second. When you were like, no.
Hey, shout out to my guy. He really taking his clothes off.
Man, got us the jackets. I put them on.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
I'm too hot.
Yeah, 100%.
Plus, I love my late Christmas presents.
The show started too hot, man.
Oh, we got more stuff coming for you, baby. Keep your sizes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I like
Smooth
this.
though, man. Appreciate
Hey,
you.
no problem.
Man,
no
I
problem.
was the only one with the jacket on. Is it? You guys didn't even put yours on? Okay.
I had one.
I'll put it on.
You're
I'll
only
put
good.
it
I'm
on.
not putting
Hold
it
on,
on.
you gonna do it? Dang, you got on the
Oh,
sweater.
yeah, how they say
You're good.
love.
You're good. You bought it. You provided.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want you
Because
passing
you're gonna be
out.
hot. Like,
All right.
yeah,
All right, Sean got me.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I got you.
Whew.
I'm mad.
All right.
I was going to take the L because last week I was hot as hell. I ain't going to lie.
Hey, do I look like a 1950s? Like I'm in a 1950s gang?
You look like Al Bundy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Which is not a bad thing.
I love. Yeah. No, he's a legend.
Shout out to
I loved him in all 2 episodes. I've
Shout out to
seen.
our guy that designed him. What's his name on Twitter?
Renegade.
Renegade. Yeah, shout out to our guy
I'm like,
on
how he know?
Instagram. I don't know how to say names. So.
Like,
This was designed by
Jay-Z washed them and then one Renegade.
designed by Shawn Porter.
no.
Renegade and then
Well, lightweight.
you got your
It
input.
really is kind of.
Is
It's
this
kind
leather?
of puffy.
Yeah, that's meant for fresh cow. That's oxtail skin.
Zytel immediately looks like he gained 75 pounds.
Oh,
Just based on how like puffy the arms are and
Man,
everything, you look yoked up.
this is cow hunted from my man Joey Spencer out in the wild, isn't it?
That's serious business there.
Yeah,
Joey's your guy?
Yeah, it's a good, great kid. Yeah.
I like how they show on TV too. Yeah, but they coming. I'll say about the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm gonna have these available for you guys.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Listen, it has the energy.
Died down enough.
Hey, we hyped.
Yeah.
What else we got to talk about?
For all the
Sean's
times
like, I'll
you-
go on my phone. If
literally for all the times you've said, "Man, we need to bring the energy up." And
I haven't said that in a year.
No, it's been recent. In weeks. I thought you were gonna say
that.
I haven't said that in
No, I haven't said
since
that.
2021.
I haven't said that since 2020.
Hey, you guys gonna like our shirts coming out. It has great detail. Everything you see in this this picture right now is gonna be in our shirt.
I've seen
Everything.
a little bit of a mock-up, and it does justice to my unattractiveness. I saw that,
Same.
and I was like,
Hey, all of us. All of
I
us.
saw it, and I was like, damn, that's an ugly dude. Then I was like, yeah, it makes sense. I was like, that checks out.
I felt the same way.
Hey, all of us.
My wife said the best drawing was of you. She's like, She's like, Ant got a commission, huh? He's the most on point drawing.
Hey, actually, I wasn't the one that kept complaining and fixing stuff about myself.
No.
I wasn't that person that kept saying, "Hey, I don't want that on me."
I said,
"Hey, I wasn't that person that said, open my eyes and stuff like that."
I didn't say open my eyes. I said add a little muscle.
That was me. Everything.
He had a little muscle. He just needed the jacket on.
There you go. So
It looks like he's got Superman arms under there.
Here we go. But Shawn,
Your 49ers are doing well.
seriously though, some arms on the drawing.
You want to take some steroids?
No, it's PEDs they're called now.
No, he's on naturals.
yeah.
I tell it's all natural unless he's wearing a jacket.
Yes.
That gives off that interpretation.
No.
Was it Hans and Franz on
Fonzie.
No, on SNL.
Oh,
Fonzie. I'm a Fonzie. No, on SNL, they wore these.
Go get a little back and forth right
They wore
there.
these. They wore these big. They were big sweatsuits. I think it was Hans and Franz. Somebody will know.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, they will. They'll know.
Yeah.
Speaking of comments,
This dude said Fonzie.
Oh, yeah.
The guy know Fonzie. Go ahead.
Speaking of the comments, last week we were trying to give some love to the fans, and I don't know. I think we didn't really get through it the way we wanted to. So
We had Keith on, and Keith,
yeah,
he's a talker.
Was awesome.
He's a talker.
Yeah. I love it when people you know what I mean, like in the fight game, text me like fighters will text me, or somebody else who's involved with the reporting side of things will text and say, hey, that was an awesome interview you did with Keith. For me, like I thought it was pretty good, but when you start to hear, you know what I mean, I refer to them colleagues. When you start to hear people just reach out to you randomly telling you that stuff, you know what I mean, like we're really doing what we need to be doing. But
Ali, they do This Is Your Life, and he would light up when Joe Frazier would come in. Like they had and it was I kind of got that vibe from you and Keith Thurman. Out of all your rivals, you probably vibe with him the best.
Yeah.
He's an extrovert, like you're an extrovert, so it's that might have went down as your best fight of your career.
But I'm not even mad at you saying that. I just think that like from the level of the opponent, the timing, the whole nine. I agree that he that very well could be like the best fight of my career as a professional.
Is that your pick for best fight for Shawn?
It's either that or Errol Spence, or Danny.
What do you think?
I got to go with Keith Thurman.
Yeah, I think Shawn's best performance was Errol, but I think the best fight.
Oh yeah, best fight.
in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Hey.
So we got John Iceman Scully coming on pretty soon.
Yeah.
Height.
I'll ask him too much.
But
So
until he comes on.
yeah.
Hey, speaking of best fights of Shawn's career, and then we talked about he felt like his weakness was his power. Hey, after he walked out the ring with Paulie Malignaggi, he thought he was fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulie's wilding this week, but that's a whole nother story. Because everybody on Twitter and Instagram, everything kept saying, that's why Shawn Porter did like that. You're talking like that because Shawn Porter. Yeah. But yeah, when you walked out that fight, you felt like I could knock a nigga.
Honestly, there was a. I'm gonna get into it eventually, but I'll give the long story short. Is I was coming from 154 pounds to 147 pounds as a professional, but coming from 165 pounds to 147 from an amateur to a pro. And I really do. I have evidence to back it up. You'll see my body changes through the course of my career, coming from 165 to 147. So when I first started making 147, in my mind, I had to be faster and I had to be quicker. And I felt like consciously I was taking power off of my shots. But I also felt like, for the sake of words, I was losing power because I was going down to that weight class. When I fought Paulie, that was the first time that I had made weight in a way that my body didn't really change. And I had my legs, like my legs were really thick, like my football legs, right? And I remember after the weigh-in, and I made weight and everything, I looked at my dad and I said, look at my legs. And he said, what? I said,
I'm gonna beat the dog piss out of him.
I said, Paulie's in trouble.
Oh.
And that's what I said. And my dad's, I know he is.
Voice. Paulie was in trouble.
My dad says, I know he is. And when that fight went the way that it went, I was like, oh, I'm back, baby.
When you was hitting him with stuff, he was going like, you say you hear shit. Could you hear him like taking them shots?
I heard a couple of grunts here and there.
Man, my man fell through the ropes.
Afterwards, you hit the Frank Costanza. I'm back, baby. And be easy on the table. You start telling the story, and all of a sudden the table started getting pushed down here.
Dan J. Remember, he used to always be.
Everybody know Dan J.
Dan would always say about that fight. He goes, man, if Shawn came in for every fight like he did for Paulie, we'd be, I guess that was. You mentioned making weight for that camp, and so
that was early on when I was making 147. I think my body hadn't gone through the changes that it's gone through the course to near the end of my career. And again, like I said, I'll get into that another time. But real quick, with the time we got left before Iceman gets on, first and foremost, want to shout out Jamel Herring.
Yeah.
He's got his book out. It's on Amazon. That's where you found it, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's got to be on the Barnes & Noble's.
Gotta be top sellers.
Yeah. Go and cop this, The Fighting Marine. Of course, I haven't read it yet. He's gonna read it and tell me what it's all about. Then I'll tell you what it's all about.
I read it sound like an audio book.
Yeah, right.
Carson notes instead of Cliff notes.
Yeah. Listen, man, and it's short too. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
They got pictures in there. I like pictures.
Yeah, there ain't no pictures in here.
He really has had such a crazy story. I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Absolutely.
I miss these days when the teacher used to read and she'll go
and show you the page.
I miss those days, man. Now I gotta just read.
Sit in the circle.
Yeah, man, I miss those. Hey,
so what I did was I turned in the pictures for the bigger letters. Yeah. So if a book didn't have bigger letters, I wouldn't mess with it. Yeah. So even my Bible has I got the print with the bigger letters.
That's like you do with the when you were writing papers and you had to do the double spacing and you tried to space that thing out as long as far as physically possible. But
The Fighting Marine, the Jamel Herring
Sure.
story. Check it out. Barnes & Nobles. Hopefully they got it. Definitely Amazon Prime that.
And me and Shawn talked about something. Wanted to address something in the comments. A guy named Zach Knapp. He said he was going through depression, and this podcast brings him out of it. So yeah, man, we're always here.
Read it real quick.
He said, Shawn, about the comment that no one watches the show. I tune in every week. Recently, I've been going through major depression disorder, and this show takes everything off my mind. Thanks for everything you guys do. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So I responded back to the guy. I've been there. I think we all been in a tough place, dark place. Man, just stay positive, man. Stay pushing. Find your why. Sometimes stuff knock you down in life, but don't stay down. You got to keep pushing, man.
Yeah.
I promise you.
I wanted to read that first and foremost to speak directly to him and shout him out for leaving that comment. But to anyone else who heard that may not have opened up about anything, the best advice I have for you was do not stay alone in that depression. Do not stay alone in that hurt, that pain, that suffering. Find somebody. It can be a brother, a sister, cousin, colleague at work, somebody that you just walk by on the bus, whatever the case may be. But if you stay alone in it, it will eat you up. And this guy, his outlet right now is us. You know what I mean? I appreciate that I can be an outlet to anybody. That's kind of my purpose in life, is to be, I'm a giver. So I give more than just money. I give more than just time. I give energy. You know what I mean? I give positivity, and I try to give, as much motivation and positivity and good energy as I can. And just saying that, if you are going through anything, try your best not to stay alone in it. Try your best to reach out to somebody.
And I mean, even like you said, find something that does make you happy, kind of get out of what's going on. So I'm definitely happy we could be that to somebody, and maybe more people. We have a good time doing it, and think they appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Wish the best for him and anybody else who feels like that. Going through that at times.
Absolutely.
I think I've definitely been there. So
yeah.
And you get through it, and you get better for it.
Yeah, and I think we all been deep times, and everybody go through something. So.
And even with this podcast, man, like people be like, I go to the bathroom and listen to the podcast. You know what I mean?
There's a guy that's usually he said he works construction, that he said he has to tuck off somewhere and listen to the podcast.
I don't got your name, my man, but I appreciate you. Leave a comment.
Consistent.
Put the hand up, say, yo, it's me.
Yeah.
And we'll shout you out next week.
Hey, shout out to the guy on IG. I don't remember your name, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
I wonder if we're gonna go the same route here.
Hey, man, I said I'll give you some love. My man, you tagged all your friends you wanted to get shout out to, man. Shout out to you. Man. You said, hey, can you shout out this person too? He's from the same hometown as somebody else, but
I thought you were talking about somebody on Instagram for the merch recommendations. Wants one of Ant and I beating up Shawn.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I didn't understand what that was about. He wanted one that's punching you.
Yeah. I don't know
why? We asked him why.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I just need to see that.
He said
the man clearly knows what he's looking for.
Keep the ideas coming.
Yeah, I can respect that.
I want to get everybody in the ring at some point, but
like for
over here, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I'm fainting.
Over here, I don't think it's ever going to happen because I think it'll be entertaining.
Comedy. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And we can talk about all the times that I've taken shots of your power. So you all saw the video of us playing the Oculus, the VR boxing.
In my head, it went better.
And my goodness, I have absolutely no power. I'm like 10 fights deep on that. I haven't dropped not one single person. I beat him. And it's not.
I'm playing it too.
It's not with power.
I got it here for you to play if you want to play.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's why I brought it for you.
I need a rematch.
Hey, I didn't know how, but somehow I'm really a southpaw. I never seen myself in a real fight, but every day I get on the Oculus, I'm a southpaw.
The only reason I southpaw is because I can jab with my right hand. Just keep them off me.
So were you guys being like Marvin Hagler southpaws, like you're really right-handed, but you just fought with the right?
I think
up front.
I'm being like a combination of like Lara and Rigo, just because I only want to jab, and that's the arm that is stronger with more endurance.
And one more thing we got to address is the resumes. We got a lot of resumes between my DMs, the Gmail account.
Yeah,
we're going through the resumes, guys. Give us a little time. We're busy, but we're going to get to all of them. I promise you.
Competitive salary would be
some hearts right now.
What is it? Oh, he hired somebody.
I think we got our guy. Listen.
Oh, John Scully, you mean?
No. Well, we got him. But listen, I think we got our guy. If you haven't heard from the Porterway podcast, you may not hear from us.
Hey, I'm gonna get back to y'all, man. That's the least I could do. I
text you. I said make sure we holler back at everybody that sent us something.
Sean will sign an email.
Eventually, you will hear from us either way. But I really do. I think we found our guy. I had somebody hit me up, and I think we got our guy. But it's not solid yet, so you will definitely hear from us. I'm just playing, but at the same time, we may have our guy.
Hey, shout out to you, the guy that cussed me out of my DMs. You're my guy. I ain't give you no energy back. I just was all positive, but he cussed me out. Oh yeah, he cussed me out. Oh yeah, cussed me out.
He said you're not gonna give him no love until
hell no. I told him I appreciate him applying.
Yeah.
I just haven't. He mad because we didn't get back to him.
Just slow down. Hold on. Give us a minute. Damn it. You're right. There's some urgency for a social media poster person. I don't know what they call it. I want to respect everybody. But give us some time. Yeah.
And our plan is to work with the fans. We're doing a lot of stuff with the fans. So we still got a long ways to go with this podcast and this Porterway network.
Yeah.
Our peanut gallery out there is.
I dig.
The Porterway.
We also have our guy.
Yeah, let's get him on here.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Iceman, what's going on, boss?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Really good. Everything's great.
Good. We were talking about you on the podcast, and I told you, I said, I just put it out there. I said, man, we're gonna get Iceman on here next week. We had an interesting comment on the podcast comments, and we felt it was fitting to bring you in on that. But with that being said, when I called you, you had called me the same day I was talking about you. So the stars aligned, and here we are.
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the thing. We got a lot of Hall of Fame going on. And that's all going on this year, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a trifecta.
Yeah, we got
2020, 2021, and 2022 all going in at once.
Yeah, and Iceman, I know you keep up on all of it. I sent it to you just in case you didn't have the list, but I'm like, I know this dude got the list. You actually ended up correcting me on something that was posted incorrectly on somebody's name, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not even gonna argue Iceman on it. I'm like, he had to correct me. So
who was it on?
It was Huckman, right?
Which one was it?
Huckman.
One of them. Whatever it was, they spelled it. Whoever it was, they spelled. I'm trying to fix my phone here. I'm trying to line myself up. Can you see me all right?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, look good. Look good.
Okay.
Hey, John,
got a haircut?
Yeah, yes, it is. And but they one of the names they spelled it wrong, and I just I'm big on the spelling, so I had to throw it in.
It was Chuck Hall.
Oh, right, Hull. It was Hull.
Right. Right.
Now, Chuck Hull, do you know who Chuck Hull is?
Uh-oh.
He was an early 80s announcer. He did the fight with Sugar Ray and Hagler. And the way he used to do it, he had a really distinct way of doing it. He would, like, back then, it was 15 rounds and later, and still 12 rounds. But he would go, like, he would read the scores and he would go, Judge Tommy Kazmarek votes 143, 141. And that was just the way he really exaggerated the one. And everybody knows him from that. 145, 143. He was a great. He was like up there with Michael Buffer, like a really, really great ring announcer. So yeah, he should be in there for sure.
Are you going to be at the Hall of Fame this coming year?
Yeah. I'll be there.
Who are you looking forward to seeing up there?
Roy and James, Roy Jones, James Toney. I go back a long ways with both of them. And, I sparred many rounds with them and went to camp with them. And so, they're my guys and two of the greatest fighters ever. So I'm really excited to see them get
Roy's
in.
birthday today.
Yeah.
Roy Jones?
Captain Hook.
Who birthday?
Yeah, Roy Jones.
Okay.
Y'all must have forgot.
His birthday. I must have forgot.
We did forget.
Hey, John, what do you think of Hopkins getting in with those two guys you mentioned, Jones and Toney? Because they were always mentioned, the three of them together, weren't they?
Yeah. It's kind of cool, they all just, and it's funny because Hopkins, I think, was seen, he had such longevity. He was seen as a later guy, you know what I mean? Like he was after them, but he actually turned pro before Roy. Yeah. Which a lot of people probably don't realize. But it's cool that, it's fitting that they're all going in together.
And Dre's going in with them. Some people, they would think that Dre was kind of like Bernard Hopkins, and then, he was in the same division as those other guys. Do you think that's kind of fitting too, John, that Andre's getting in with Roy, Toney, and Hopkins?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's we obviously aren't a fan of COVID, but COVID messed things up, but it set this in motion for everybody to be there together. And I know Shawn has been there. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Hall of Fame or not, but
dying to go.
The Porterway will be there eventually.
If you listen, last time I saw Shawn there, he was killing in the 5K, 3K. Was it 5K, 5K run?
Yeah.
I think you won. You won that year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you won. I was with Mickey Ward. There's actually a video on YouTube. I filmed him and I because we were running the 5K, but we were maybe a fast walk, and Mickey was like, "I'm not running. I'm past that." And when I got to the end, they had said you won. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of you and I at the finish line.
Yeah.
You were right after you had won, and we took a picture. Yeah, I still got that picture. Yeah, for sure. And but yeah, the Hall of Fame is, if you haven't been to Canastota, you could, I mean, it's unlike anything you've ever seen, especially Graziano's. But I don't know if you know, but they tore Graziano down.
No, I didn't know that.
Man, they tore it down. It's gone. They the casino bought it. They want everything at the casino now.
Yeah, wow.
So Graziano's, which is a crime against humanity, if they tore that down. That's not right. Nah.
Wow.
Will it still be in the casino, John, or it's just gone forever? That's it. Like Graziano's was a restaurant, right?
Just a local spot that everybody. I mean, you walk in there, you wouldn't believe who was in there. Like this little hole in the wall place, which the other 50, 56, 51 weeks of the year is like, just a little local diner. And you go in there. I mean, I went in there one night. I actually videotaped it. I was in there one night, and I remember walking in, and Mickey Ward and Dickie Eklund were there. Aaron Pryor and Leon Spinks were dancing on the floor with all the local girls. Michael Spinks was at the end of the bar. Hagler was in the back room. You were there. Michael Moore was there. I mean, you could name 50 guys just hanging around with the locals. Yeah. Like it's a Saturday night in town. They're just hanging out. And they ruined that. So hopefully we'll be able to find another place and everybody get together again.
Hey, Iceman, my greatest fight of all time, this is what I've seen. I take Floyd Mayweather because that's what I've seen. But when it comes to historian, and if it was Olympics Games, you will represent America. So I want to ask you, who is your top 5 greatest fighters of all time?
Well, here's what I always say. You know, it could fluctuate because here's the thing. There's not enough, and I always use the top 10. There's not enough room in the top 10 for the top 10. There's 50 guys that could be in the top 10. Great. You can't go wrong. If you put Sugar Ray Robinson in there, I mean, I would say Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, Willie Pep, you know, those are kind of givens. Henry Armstrong is kind of given. But now you got to say, well, what about Roy Jones? What about you know, Kid Gavilan? What about Duran, you know, in his prime, Duran? What about, and you could name them, you know, Muhammad Ali, you could name Larry Holmes, you could name so many people that could be in. I would say, all intents and purposes, you have to have Sugar Ray Robinson in there, you know, and Willie Pep. I would put, as the given, I would put those two. Like, they've got to be in there, you know, just historically and everything combined. But, you know, depending on the day, who knows? You know, there's so many other guys. You know, a lot of people, I think, bumped Roy Jones out because of the way his career ended. But I don't subscribe to that because they don't do that with Ray Robinson. I mean, Ray Robinson, at the end of his career, was losing to guys with records like 18-7. You know what I mean? He was losing a lot of fights. He lost 19 fights. People don't realize that. They don't give him any grief over that at all. But Roy Jones, they crucify Roy. And, you know, Roy Jones, listen, you can talk about technique and whatever, but in his prime, he wasn't losing. On his best day, he wasn't losing. And the best technique in the world wasn't getting it done. I mean, he, you know, Bernard Hopkins, Mike McCallum, tons of guys had good technique. The good technique didn't help. You know what I mean? It didn't help. You know what I mean? It didn't help. And, you know, on his best, like his song says, it's funny, but y'all must have forgot. You know, you forget. And I say, if you take, and he said this, and I said this before he did. He said, take a 5-minute highlight video of me and put it up against anybody. Put it up against anybody in history. And tell me I'm not there. I'm not on that level. Come on, man. I mean, Roy Jones was the first time I saw Roy Jones was in the National Golden Gloves, 1987. I saw him fight Anthony Daly on the first day, 156 pounds, right? April of 87. Anthony was on my team. I beat Anthony the year before, so I knew Anthony. I went to the payphone right after I called my father. And back then, I didn't realize he was from Florida because he fought for Knoxville. And I said, Dad, you got to see this kid from Knoxville. I said, he's going to go to the Olympics next year. This guy's unbelievable. Like, this guy's a phenomenon. And at the time, he wasn't even an Olympic contender. Tim Littles and Frankie Lyles were considered the front runners, and Gerald McClellan. They were considered the front runners, not Roy Jones. But Roy, you know, from 87 and 88, you know, he just was electrifying.
Does anyone ever in history beat him at 168?
No.
I don't think so.
No, like, he's just, I think, the most unbeatable 168 pound player of all time.
I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you a story about how this man is. Now, I remember reading a thing one time, and he said something to the effect of, and other fighters who said this, like, they got bored. You know, they kind of slacked a little and looked beatable in certain fights because they got bored. And me, you know, as a fighter, I'm thinking, man, how could you get, like, even the most boring fight is the most exciting thing ever to happen to you. Like when you're in a fight, that's high level stuff. Like, to the crowd, it might look boring, but to you, you're on pins and needles. It's unbelievable. But by the same token, I could see, like, for example, if I'm sparring with a bunch of novice guys and I'm playing with them, well, after a while, my guard's not going to be as alert. You know, I might get hit a little bit more against these guys because I'm not that fearful anymore. Because I know if I step it up, I could beat them easily. And I would imagine that was Roy Jones with world-class fighters. Like, he would fight guys who, against other people, looked awesome. against him, they look like they never boxed before. They look like they never had a fight.
They say I ain't fight nobody. I just make them look like nobody.
But no, but people say, oh, that guy doesn't look good. I go, yeah, look at that guy. Look at Thomas Tate. Roy Jones stopped Thomas in 2 rounds, walked him into a left hook, right? Right before that, Thomas gave Julian Jackson all the fight he wanted for 12 rounds. And Julian was the pound-for-pound hardest puncher on the planet at that time. The most feared man at that time. And Thomas gave him the fight of his life up until Gerald McClellan. And then right after that, Roy beat Thomas, easily. So Thomas was a very good fighter. Percy Harris, Jorge Castro, these guys could fight against other people. But against Roy Jones, if you didn't know who they were, you'd go, the guy.
Virgil Hill too.
He's probably 15-7.
Stop to the body shot.
Yeah. I mean, Virgil Hill went on to win that WBA belt like 6 more times after Roy stopped him.
Hey, and let me tell you, I've sparred Roy Jones many times, and I've told a million people his body shots are his best punches. Those are the punches, especially a left hook to the body. Those are the punches I thought about. When I was getting ready to box him on a certain day, I was like, okay, let's be careful with the body shots. So him, clipping, and people who were there say you could hear Virgil's rib break. You could actually hear it. They said one guy described it to me who was there. He said it sounded like a shotgun, like somebody fired a gun. He said you could hear it. Yep.
Pass on that. What do you think about there's some great female fighters getting in? Christy Martin, who has maybe the craziest story ever. Layla Ali, Ann Wolfe, who I would argue would beat the dog piss out of any of the 4 of us sitting here. Ann Wolfe.
I thought you were going to say that about Layla.
Layla Ali, of course.
Her and Sean's a good fighter.
They're all of us.
I think Ann Wolfe beats all 4 of us right now at the same time. All 4.
I'll get a no contest.
Her and Sean's
I'm
good
doing something.
I ain't going to say nothing because she might see this. So
she's great and moved on and trained.
Right. That's why I'm not going to say
James
nothing.
Kirkland as well.
Because I see her around.
What do you think
She's still in the streets.
about some of the female fighters? Holly Holm as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's for that, they're the best. They're the best of the best of the females. I'll be honest, like I haven't seen a lot of even though I trained a female world champion. Actually, that was my first champion that I trained was a female, but I haven't seen a lot of female boxing, just so it wasn't really my thing. But I did watch Layla Ali. Obviously she was good, but yeah, Ann Wolfe had, that one knockout she had against the Vonda Ward, the really tall girl. That was one of the knockouts. That was one of the knockouts of the decade. Like you could put her up there with Julian Jackson knockouts. Like she was, that shot she hit Vonda Ward with was out of this world. So it's going to be, it's going to be interesting just to see all these groups together, to see these guys interact with each other. It's going to be special.
Hey, let's move on past this Hall of Fame thing. What we got going on in a couple of months? We got about April. What we got going on with USA Boxing?
We've got the qualifier, USA Boxing, the qualifier, and that's in Cleveland.
Taking it to Cleveland.
Right, and you're going to be there.
I will be there.
Your thing as a special guest.
To Porter Way might be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it should be there. It's going to be, and I'm going to try and do a little, reunion thing there. And as a matter of fact, I don't know. Did I ever ask you? Do you know? Did you ever know Reggie Revere?
I don't think so.
He's from. He fought for Cleveland in the Golden Gloves, but he's from Youngstown.
Okay.
Back in the '80s, but I fought him in the National Golden Gloves my first time there.
Sure, my dad knows him.
Yeah. So I'd love to get him and Kelly and some of those guys to come over. Yeah. But yeah. So they're doing the qualifier in Cleveland. And I'm gonna be there.
This will be the first time they're combining the Eastern qualifier with the Western qualifier, and they're taking it to Cleveland, Ohio, which I think is really cool and really special. For anyone out there that doesn't know, the Easterns is basically anything from the middle of the U.S. all the way through the East, and then of course Westerns is vice versa. usually there's multiple tournaments so that you get 8 guys to make it to the Olympic trials. I don't know how this is going to look now because they're combining the two. I don't know if it has something to do with the pandemic while they're combining the two, but nevertheless, you got some of the best fighters in the United States are going to be in Cleveland in April. We'll get the exact date for everybody, but they'll be in the United States, or excuse me, they'll be in Cleveland in April, and you may possibly see like the next Roy Jones. You'll see the next Mayweather. You'll see the next guy who went from the Olympic Games to becoming a world champion. You'll see him right there in April in Cleveland, Ohio. I think that's pretty special.
Right. You know what's funny? What I always tell people, if you ever hear about a national tournament within driving distance of your house or whatever, go to it. Go check it out. Because here's the thing. Literally every national USA tournament in history for the last 100 years has produced
multiple
future world champions. And, so you go there, like I'll give an example. I was at the US Championships in 1988. Roy Jones was there. Frankie Lyles was there. Tim Littles was there. Riddick Bowe was there. Ray Mercer was there. 100 guys who 5 years later are household names and 15, 20 years later are in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So, you go to a tournament and you see a bunch of unknown kids. Well, they're not going to be unknown forever. Yeah. And what you're watching them is on the springboard of them becoming, who they become.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iceman, we appreciate you for your time, my man.
Oh, wait, one thing I get to Iceman.
Go ahead. I forgot you were here.
John, man, I still working with Beterbiev, right? I believe just a couple weeks ago, beating Marcus Brown.
Yeah. I was in Montreal for 2 months.
So set me straight, John. I said
set the 3 of them straight. I'm the only one rolling with you on this one, Iceman.
Set us straight, John. Arthur's the champ. Knocked out anyone he's ever fought. He's the champ, right? But Benavidez moves up to 75. I favor Benavidez. If Canelo wants to fight the champ at 75, I favor Canelo. Why is that wrong?
No. Say how you said it. Easy work was the description.
I think.
Go ahead and say it.
I think they could make the fight easier than it looks on paper.
Well, here's my thing.
Carson.
Like, it's when you watch, and I'm being real. Like Shawn will tell you, you could watch a guy fight, and you have to fight him, and you say to yourself, "Nah, he's not that good." Then you fight him a month later, and you're like, "Man, this guy was a lot better than I thought he was." Or you could watch a guy and he looks like a killer, and you're like, "All right, I got to be on my game with this guy." Then you fight him, and he's easy. So sometimes you miss things, and it just looks different than it actually is. But I know this. If you know Lonnie B, Lonnie B is a super middleweight. Okay, now Lonnie B is a good fighter. He can box the whole time. He was in camp with Arthur for several camps. He's been there the most out of any sparring partner. And I was there at the last camp when he decided not to come anymore. And he said, I'm trying to make my own career. This isn't good for me. This isn't helping me. And he was on a podcast recently, and he said, he was serious. He said, listen, I got hit by a car about 6 or 7 years ago. Oh, wow. He goes, that wasn't as bad as being hit by Arthur Beterbiev. Wow. He goes, getting hit by a car was worse. Now you can look at that it's on YouTube. He says getting hit by Arthur was worse. Now Arthur, I think, proves he has game. Arthur's a lot of people mistakenly thought he was just a face first slugger. Arthur's a smart guy. Arthur's no dummy by any stretch. Now Benavidez, I think Arthur knocks Benavidez out. I have no doubt. But Canelo is tricky. He's smart. He uses his lack of size to his advantage. He doesn't try to fight like a big guy. He fights elusive where, if an elephant can't step on a turtle, then he can't crush the turtle. You know what I mean? And, so Canelo is slick. He's very smart. He's the one I would worry the most about because he's obviously very strong. Now, that might be another topic. I don't know the source of his strength necessarily, but he is very smart. You can't no pill is going to give you intelligence. He's a smart, super smart, slick, technical fighter. He's the guy I'd worry the most about probably.
Thanks, John.
And FightHype.com for that interview that was mentioned.
Yeah. Yes. Is that what it was on? All right. Yeah, there we go. Good.
Hey, Iceman, we appreciate you. We love you. We'll talk to you later.
Man.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey,
Listen,
man,
man, I appreciate you
you.
having me.
I'll see you
Call
soon.
me anytime.
You got it.
Nothing but
you.
Call
knowledge.
me anytime.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Take care, John.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Be good.
Nothing but knowledge right
And
there.
Sean actually conducted said interview.
Nothing but
Did
knowledge.
I?
Yeah. How about that?
You do so many, you forget. You're like, okay.
Why do my man Canelo like that then?
So I have one additional piece of.
Oh, yeah, I did do that
information
interview.
with you. Yeah.
At Floyd's gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, he was like, getting hit by him was worse than getting hit by a car. He said it was the worst time of his life. But so there was an article, and I think this ties in. We can kind of cap the Hall of Fame stuff with this. Cliff Rold wrote, shout out to Cliff,
Cliffy.
in Ring Magazine about it. Pretty much, kind of to summarize, it was like, how did the best fare against the best in their career? Because there's always these arguments, hey, he didn't really fight anybody when he fought people. So he does this whole list. Feel free to check it out. So the Hall of Famers, the top 3 guys kind of each thing. I was like, I'm curious where they ranked in there.
Yeah.
So B-Hop, number 12.
Out of all 12 of them?
No, this is out of this is out of everybody.
All fighter that ever fought.
Yeah.
Okay. I was upset.
He said out of 12?
So he is number 12. And this, so that's the 2020 class. Marquez, number 87. So still top 100.
Knock Pacquiao out. Who cares?
Yeah, and it was only the top 100 that was listed. Shane Mosley, number 57.
Okay.
And then 2021, Klitschko, number 58. So top 100.
Ahead of Shane Mosley?
Yeah, as far as his competition. No, he's behind him. He's one behind him.
Oh, okay.
It goes based on who you fought,
How you did against them, where they were ranked at the time.
Yeah.
I'll let you look in the article. But then
Just being a butthole.
Floyd, number 6, all time.
Straight up.
Best against the
Sounds
best.
about right.
You know,
Floyd Mayweather?
yeah. TB
Man,
is they say.
he fought everybody.
Fought everybody.
Cleaned him up.
Talked to him. And then
Top 6.
on
I
Andre
want top
Ward's
5.
number 84.
Andre Ward.
Yeah. Kodo. This is an interesting one. Not in the top 100.
I can see that.
Hold on.
And
I don't
to
feel
be-
that way, but I
To
can
be
see
fair, he fought a lot of the top guys and didn't fare well in some of those fights. Roy Jones, number 14, and then James Toney was number 89. So
Good stuff.
the best of the best,
stuff.
fighting the best of the best.
Who's number 1?
Shout out to their research for
Number
that.
1, I believe, is Sugar Ray Robinson. Was number 1 on the list. I'll let you.
Got an argument for that?
No, I ain't got nothing.
And then honestly, the good thing about it is it was calculated. This wasn't like him saying how did he look against these guys. It was like, where was this guy ranked at the time? Did he win? How did that guy look against other guys? So it was literally an equation that he did of kind of breaking it down, which is pretty cool.
Well, shout out to them for doing that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out to Cliff.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
Yeah.
Hey man, when he was saying he told the story before how he seen Roy Jones and called his dad and stuff. I think that's probably the first time you've seen a black person boxing. It's like, damn, he's so athletic. It's like it's like when a white team shows up in a black team shows up in an all white town.
Yeah.
Like they was dunking, they were so athletic.
I wonder why Roy was coming out of Knoxville instead of Florida.
Because
Is there not like a thing out of
a
Florida?
region situation. Yeah, it goes on every now and then. One year, I represented Knoxville in the Golden Gloves.
Hey, there you go.
I had a situation going
Pretty much
on.
Roy Jones Jr.
I got disqualified from the tournament. So
What'd you do,
Hate to
Sean?
see it. Hate to see it. Headbutts.
Low blowing.
It was headbutts.
Shout out to Country Black.
Nah, it's a long story.
I literally.
KP had to straighten him out.
But listen though, because he's
I had a joke, but I ain't gonna do it.
no, relax. Listen,
Just kidding, Champ.
so I'm gonna continue to promote this April tournament. I'm gonna get the exact dates.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna promote it. Hopefully, if you in close to Cleveland, definitely come check it out. I'm about to give all of the evidence to proof that you should show up at this tournament. I'm not getting paid to do this. I gave you a DVD of the U.S. championships that I was at.
Yeah.
That's the U.S. championships where you got to qualify. The Easterns and the Westerns are no longer a qualifier, so anybody can come.
Yeah.
Who was at that U.S. champ in that? Who fought one another even?
So you fought DJ.
I fought Daniel Jacobs.
The fight?
Yeah, it was a good fight.
Yeah.
Gary Russell fought Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Oh, active. He's active.
That was a great fight. I thought Gary handled him pretty easily, which I think Gary has said in the past. Like, yeah, it was kind of easy. He did kind of make it easy. Trying to think who else was on there.
Daniel Garcia was on there. Danny Garcia was on there.
trying to think who was in some of the lower weights.
Deontay Wilder wasn't there.
He wasn't
yet.
there.
Was JoJo there?
No.
Jojo Diaz was not there.
I'll see if I can find that list because it really was. There was like there was somebody who everyone thought
Carl Dargan was there.
Carl Dargan, who everyone said was like he was the guy.
Yeah, Carl
Dargan
was the guy.
Supposed to be the dude.
Still is the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to make a phone call.
Yeah, he was the guy. But no, yeah, it was all action.
But the names of the names of names you know now were in
down.
Colorado Springs. We was fighting one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this isn't a situation where you may possibly see the next Roy Jones. You're going to see a couple of guys who will eventually win world championship titles as professionals, if not get damn near close. Yeah. So I'm not inviting you to my city because I'm gonna be there. I'm inviting you to my city because if you love boxing and you've been wondering, you know, when the next this and that's gonna come, 2022. We got something right there for you.
I mean, even the people now that are like, Matt, love watching. I mean, you had Keyshawn Davis as your prospect of the year. He wasn't fighting in that long ago. Like it was not too long ago. Troy Isley got a win yesterday.
Yeah. I'm sure Shakur came through there.
All these young fighters you like, and the old fighters.
Even my dad called me from somewhere. I think he was in the training camp. He said, hey, "This kid, Errol Spence, man, this kid's pretty good. I heard about him, but he's
should have given
pretty
your dad
good."
more credit and said he was the truth.
Yeah,
that would have really been for.
So it's just
that was before he was the truth. Yeah, no doubt.
And that's it. It's a one shot, right? That's once a year is the nationals, right?
This particular term, I don't know how how everything's gonna go. We got 2 more years. 2024,
right?
Is the quad? So there's no telling.
But for 2022, this is it, right?
Yeah. What they're doing now is I don't know why they're doing a qualifier for the trials this year, but next year would be they'll do the Olympic trials next year. So maybe they're qualifying this year for the trials next year. However, what I do know is top 4 that win this tournament, they'll be the guys who'll be going to other countries representing the United States and the world championships and stuff like that. Maybe because of the pandemic, there's a shift with the world championships and we need a representative. We need representatives to go.
So you want me to tie this in as I've been on the do?
Hold on. This is the first live show?
Oh, no doubt.
All right, yeah.
I'm working on some things.
Sean,
I'm working on some things.
We're trying to go on tour. We're trying to go. Oh,
yeah, we're gonna talk.
Somebody trying to sign us?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody said.
Nobody wants to sign you.
So here you go. So we had Frank Martin on the show a couple weeks back, the Ghost.
Yeah.
He mentioned a couple of his big wins. He beat Virgil Ortiz Jr. in the amateurs. Another guy beating the amateurs or fought. Abraham Nova, who fought yesterday. Abraham Nova.
With the Howard Eastman beard.
Yeah, and he also has his own mascot, which I told Shawn I would have been comfortable being that mascot.
Man.
When Shawn was fighting, I would have been out there
just
dancing.
classic.
It was unbelievable. He's out there walking them out, throwing punches.
But this is what we say about the young guys all the time. They're making the sport exciting.
Coming up with some fun stuff.
Porterway podcast, making boxing exciting.
Yeah.
I like that.
He looked good
Hell of a
afterwards.
beard too.
Yeah. Afterwards, he called out Emmanuel Navarrete, which I do not advise anybody doing.
He put
But
you.
I would love that fight.
How old is he?
28.
28.
Yeah, I was thinking like mid to late 20s. He's undefeated still.
Yeah.
Really fun fighter to watch. I don't think personally, of course, I'm biased, but I don't think he beats Navarrete. But it would be a fun fight for sure. And then the other fight,
he could do some damage. The way Joet Gonzalez is able to get in close, Christopher Diaz, they had their moments. Maybe he could have better moments than even they did, but still not win.
And he pretty much said like, I have the firepower to match you. There was a funny moment afterwards where he is calling out Navarrete and spoke in Spanish, and Mark Kriegel's interviewing him.
Puerto Rico, Mexico.
And then he said something about what does it mean? And he starts talking about like the fight, and he said, no, like what you said. What does that mean? Because there was no translator. He just kind of said it to Navarrete. But main event was Joe Smith beat Stephen Giffard. I don't think the fight needs to be dissected too much, but overall, coming out of that fight, I don't know how I feel about Joe Smith, really.
It was a workman fight. He's a workman. It was a workman fight.
And he obviously is very powerful, wide punches. Like he's got thump. Like nobody will argue that. I just don't think like he beats any of the other champions at 175.
I feel like they tried to make that fight bigger than it was. And it's like, I feel like this is a stay busy fight.
Yeah, like he lost to Dimitri Bivol, and he said afterwards, I think I would do this, and this, and better. And I don't really think so. Like, I just think the way you beat a guy that throws wide punches, from my amateur perspective, is straight punches. Like, they're throwing wide punches and you're able to get shots off in the middle and avoid. Like,
I didn't even look at him. I was like, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, like it seems to make
sense. He's taking what because Keith told you last week. You was throwing wide. I was coming straight down.
I just think
we learn on the show.
Yeah. Knowledge is power. But I just think like if he's throwing these wide punches, I don't see how he clipped him, Bivol. Like he did hurt him, but.
Yeah, well, what he is, but I definitely want to give Joe this. He's a smarter fighter than he was when he knocked out Bernard Hopkins to get on the set or to get on the scene.
Knocked out, you mean knocked out of the ring?
Yes, a 50.
He pushed me.
Yeah. When he defeated,
he pushed him.
When he defeated the greatest champion with the most longevity in boxing. When he beat the greatest, oldest fighter of all time.
Big Bernard fan.
All day.
Did rock him proud.
He did, but actually he beat Fonfara by first round knockout to get on right before that. But I definitely want to say I think this Joe Smith would have beat that Joe Smith. He is more intelligent, and the problem is for him. Carson mentioned some of it is the hand speed, like some of the things he's working on that he is getting better at. That you can see him and his trainers have made a concerted effort, and you see the improvement. It's just at the top level. I don't think those improvements work as well because the hand speed ultimately. He's stuck with the hand speed. He's got cement in his hands and he's got cement in his jaw.
Yeah.
He's a strong guy. He's a tough guy. And what I did like about him working on his boxing, he's not going to outbox Bivol. So he's going to run into a dead end there. But against Beterbiev, he probably does need to learn to box a little bit better and can't just go as strong as he is. He can't just go slug it out with Arthur Beterbiev. Yeah. So maybe the style that he is improving with can pay some dividends in a matchup with Beterbiev, who's not the fastest guy in the world either. He is faster than Joe Smith, but he's knocked out anyone he's ever fought. I don't know if you could knock out Joe Smith. He seems like a pretty tough cookie to crack in terms of stopping him. And so that is a good fight. And what he was working on with Steven Giffard probably will benefit his chances against Arthur Beterbiev stylistically. And then as for Steven Giffard, I thought he did a good job on 8 days' notice. Yeah. A guy who's only had like 3 fights in the last 5 years. And
had never gone, I think his longest fight was 8 rounds. So he had never gone to 9 rounds, get stopped in the 9th round. But
what was interesting about him though is like John, he's a huge boxing fan.
Yeah.
And I'm interested what you think about this. And maybe I should ask John too, but I remember Coach Avalar, he does CompuBox for ESPN. He told me back in the gym at Barry's, back in my short-lived little couple fights in the amateurs, he would hear me talk about the other fighters and you going to watch this fight this weekend? And so-and-so's fighting too. And Judah's coming back. And he pulled me aside and he goes, look, man, if you really want to fight, you can't be being a fan of the sport like that. You can't. And don't get me wrong. Like I know Shawn, I'm sure he watched the big fights on weekends with KP. But Steven Giffard, that was what I got from him. He was like, I was going to watch this fight this Saturday with the friends and the family.
That's what's up.
And I wonder if I just saw in the gym, in my gym, Diego Magdaleno, Jesse Magdaleno, Michael Hunter, they weren't watching boxing like that. They knew Floyd Mayweather. They knew the top, but they weren't. What do you think of that? Do you think sometimes that hurts a guy being too much of a fan and not, hey, they're good fighters, but F these guys. I'm a fighter too, and I'm worried about myself.
A lot of fighters are like that, where we fight, but we don't care nothing about it if we're not doing it.
Right.
If you're not the guy I'm fighting next, and you don't have a big name, I'm not watching you. You know what I mean? And then once we start to approach the big guys or the guys that we're gonna fight, then we're watching you. Shout out to Terrence Crawford. I was like that forever. My dad knows. My dad had to drag me to the house to even watch Mayweather fights, or to watch Oscar De La Hoya fights, watch Manny Pacquiao fights. Now I'm like, it's a damn shame that my dad had to drag me. But my thing, and a lot of fighters, our thing is when we're not doing it, where we're not directly involved, we don't want anything to do with it. I don't know why it's like that, but it is what it is. For me, I think it was because I grew up doing it, and I was so engulfed in it. Whenever I had an opportunity to not be a part of it, I didn't want anything to do with it. Shout out to Terrence Crawford, because I see him at a fight. I'm like, yo, man, what you doing here? He said, man, I'm a boxing fan. I don't care who fighting. Right. I don't care who they sign with. If it's a big fight and I like the dude, I'm gonna go watch him. And I said nothing to him. I was like, okay. It's all right to be a boxing fan. Once I became a boxing fan, I found respect for Floyd Mayweather. I had no respect for Floyd Mayweather because he wasn't like me, because he did everything that he was doing, and I was like, nah, he ain't that, and he ain't exciting like me, and I was hating on him. But then I run into Terrence Crawford. He's like, yo, I'm a boxing fan. and made it like it was nothing. And like I was like, okay, then we can always fight, but we can find a place to be fans of the sport as well. You know what I mean? And that's when I really became a fan of the sport. And now I am a fan of the sport. But it took somebody else telling me like it's okay to watch another fighter and root for him or hope the best for him. You know what I mean? And that after that was when I really started to watch Terrence Crawford and Keith Thurman and Demetrius Andre, all the guys that I watch now. I didn't watch them all the time, and a lot of guys are like that. Where if we're not involved, we don't want nothing to do with it. And then the other side of that is we're so competitive that when you in the ring, you're not getting my money. You're not getting my. I'm not getting. I'm not buying your ticket to your fight.
You wouldn't do me like that.
Yeah, nobody ever know that I watched you fight. You know what I mean? So. That's kind of how it is.
I was happy to see, and we can kind of close on that. I was happy to see Kevin Cunningham was working Good Frights Corner last night. I think Kevin Cunningham.
Oh, nice.
Great coach.
Another guy that.
Yeah.
There's these coaches that just don't get I just don't think they get the love they deserve. I think Kevin Cunningham is one of those guys. Yeah. But
I saw him the weekend of Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney. He said, "Man, listen, I respect you. I respect your decision, but from where I'm sitting, from my coaching eyes." You got some more left. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, coach, but I'm done. I don't want to hear that. You got some more left. I said, no, I know, coach, but I'm done. He said, man, I respect your decision, but you ain't done. And he walked away.
You're like, cue the Andre Ward quote.
Then he walked away. I was like, wait, shook, like maybe I am, maybe I'm not done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really good trainer though.
Yeah.
And then this coming weekend is the first fight of 2022 that I am pumped about. This fight card. I'm about it.
Well, you was hyped about the heavyweight card, right?
No.
I ain't get you hyped on it.
No, I was okay watching it, but this one is like I kept looking at the calendar. I was like, all right, when is that fight coming up? Gary Russell.
Oh yeah,
Mark
in action, and Mark Magsayo.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really
and
good
the
fight.
card is really good. So King Tug fights on the opener.
Nice.
And obviously his two losses are to Gary Russell and Chris Colbert.
Yeah,
no shame in that.
No.
Why we get Gary on?
I don't know.
Yeah, Gary, he's been dealing with some stuff. We'll get to him. The other fight is Subriel Matias in a rematch. He got upset against Petro Ananian. We'll go with that. I think that's it.
He was on a run. Yeah, he got upset.
Yeah, upset, but they're going to rematch. Really good fight. It was
Rico,
action fight the first time around. But Gary was obviously lost a brother during this last couple years, maybe year and a half range. And then his dad's been dealing with some medical stuff. Had his foot amputated. Mm-hmm. So and as you know, he's like the
backbone.
Yeah, he's the big brother.
Big bro.
So he's the one that a lot of that. So in the media call, he was kind of explaining that. Like, I've been doing a lot. As we know, he trains his brothers as well. Yeah. So seems like a lot's been on his plate. So I think it'll probably be good for him to get back in there, get to do what he loves.
Yeah.
That fight is going to be really fun to watch.
It's going to be
such a fun matchup.
I think it's going to be fun to watch. A big part of me feels like Gary's going to use like so much intelligence and experience that it's going to. I hate to say it's going to be an easy night for him, but something tells me this is going to be as much fun as we think it's going to be. Yeah. I got a feeling it might be one-sided.
And I think part of the fun that comes from it is almost similar to like that Deontay Wilder experience of Magsayo can put you out at any moment. So I think you're correct in saying, Gary, the ring IQ, movement, hand speed, like I think he checks all the boxes. Yeah. But if he's lax for a second, curtains.
All it takes is one.
And all it takes is one. I mean, we saw that with Magsayo fighting Julio Ceja. Ceja was winning. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Ceja was crumpled in the corner and that's it. So
I'll be interested to see how Emmanuel Stewart used to talk about this all the time with guys once they were, I'm pretty sure Gary is 30 now. Once they were in that part of their career, they can have problems matching the enthusiasm and energy of a younger fighter. So I'm just curious with that. He's only been able to fight once a year. He's getting older in the lower weight classes. Yeah. Guy relies on his speed a lot. Magsayo, if nothing else, I think he's going to come out with a lot of energy and will take his shots.
And is big for the weight.
Right, a big guy, right.
People marveled at the picture of you and him next to each other. They're like, how the hell does this guy fight at 126?
Yeah. And to your point, the separation, I believe, with Keith Thurman and Gary Russell is Gary it's his decision to be inactive. It's his decision. He's like, yo, I'm taking care of my health. I'm gonna fight when I want to fight. I don't know how the hell he's held on to that belt, but God bless him.
That's the big question.
Yeah,
God bless him.
Longest reigning champion in boxing right now, to my knowledge.
And then, but the other side, you're talking about matching that level of intensity and excitement,
activity.
It's really, I agree with you. I'm interested to see what happens. That's going to play a major role in this fight. Keith Thurman on the other side did not choose to have these layoffs. At least not 100%. He's had some injuries. He's gotten sick. The list goes on. I got a feeling that he's really excited to burst back on the scene, where on the other side, you got Gary Russell like, yeah, I'm just going back to work.
Clocking in.
Yeah, I'm just clocking in.
And is he exciting to get back on the scene? Because it's kind of like, he's kind of like Keith Thurman in 147. We forgot. We literally stopped talking about Keith Thurman for years.
We had to.
You're talking about Gary?
Yeah, Gary.
Right.
I'm not really excited about this because I want to see Gary up in there with the big names.
Right.
I feel like he's right there, but he just, like you said his health and I'm ready to go.
No, I was saying that Gary Russell has chosen to be
that's what I'm saying.
Active.
Yeah.
And so for him,
there's other circumstances.
Of course, there's other circumstances, but with his inactivity, I've had a conversation with him.
Okay.
He says, man, I'm never gonna force anybody to get me in the ring when I don't want to get in the ring.
Okay.
I'm taking care of my health, and that's what don't nobody.
And you know where he's
understand
coming from
that.
as a boxer.
Right. And he was talking to me all about longevity and all that. It was funny you asked why we didn't get him on the show. He called me randomly one morning. This was years ago.
I think you told us on the
you
podcast.
said the story, yeah.
Oh, I was over at Isola Bella. Like, that was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He called me randomly. I'm like, who is this? Who am I talking to? Man, it's Gary. I'm like, Russell? He's chosen to be inactive, and he's chosen to have his career the way that it is. And so in a lot of ways, I feel like it's a situation where he feels like, I'm just punching the clock. I'm excited to see him. I think we're going to get the best of him. I'd like to think that this is going to be relatively one-sided, easy night for him, because I know how intelligent he is, how fast and sharp he is. But then on the same token, when you got a guy in front of you that's not willing to go away and then has all this energy, and when I will speak as a fighter that was once young, when you got all this energy at some point and you're not able to get off, you're going to say, fuck it. And you can go out there with all that energy and do what you do something. What happens?
That's most Shawn Porter fights.
And we'll see what happens when that moment comes for Magsayo, because I got a feeling it's gonna have to come for him.
And I think even to Ant's point about wanting Gary in there with the top guys, which I 1,000,000% am on board with that.
Yeah.
I think at least, if anything, this is a really fun mandatory.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I mean, you talk about,
We don't get very many mandatories like this.
You want him to fight a young guy, and even if it was a young, like, unproven guy, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that's just largely still unproven. Still
I was
young,
about to say, he's still a little unproven,
has
but
crazy power.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, if you're gonna force Gary Russell into a mandatory, which, you know,
and a big kid, like you said, not like King Tug, who's a good fighter, but a small guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a really fun fight to watch. I am excited to see Gary back in the ring.
Filipinos have been known to pull off some upsets, so
buddy,
you gotta watch out.
Big Gary Russell.
Before we go, how we feel about the possible announcement, Valdez and
Shakur?
Yeah, how we feel about that?
I said before, I think Shakur stops him.
Yeah, I think Shakur beat the bricks off him. You can have Eddie Reynoso, Eddie Curry, Eddie George, Eddie Murphy in your corner. It won't matter. It won't matter that night. It won't matter that night.
Did I catch Eddie Curry in there?
Yeah, I got through Eddie Curry in there.
That's a name drop right there.
And
it just popped in my head.
No, it did.
Yes, it did. It did. I don't even know how.
Those Bulls teams were gonna be nasty.
Damn,
Eddie
we
Curry,
flipped that
Tyson
script.
Put up
Chandler,
20 on the Knicks.
Tyrese Thomas, man, Eddie Curry.
It was the Knicks who gave him his money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
shout out to the Knicks tape, but I think that would be a really fun.
I think he gets washed by the 6th round.
I picked Stevenson too, but I can't just watch Valdez. Valdez is a borderline great fighter. Well, I mean, there's that dark cloud. Fair enough. After what happened, after that, but that Burchelt fight, to my eyes, was the best performance of 2021. Whether or not you want to grant him that because of what happened following that, totally understandable. But I got Stevenson too. But I just Valdez, I do have a big level of respect for from what he's done already.
He shows up, gives him.
Yeah, he can fight, man.
And you're not working this weekend, huh? We might actually. People always ask.
I'm just happy Shakur got the fight.
People ask for us to watch a fight together.
Yeah, they keep asking.
This
They
might
really
be the
want
weekend to
that.
do it.
They really want that
because that's a fun trifecta of fights.
Yeah, they really
the
want
opener
that.
with King Tug and then
Want to do it?
the rematch. I'm down for it.
Let's do
I'm
it.
watching it either way. Whether somebody else here
Right.
watch it, I'm watching it. Either
This is
way.
the last show. I don't give prediction for the main event of fights this weekend. Christmas break
It's over.
We done, baby.
He's back.
Yeah, I got the jacket.
Got his jacket on.
I'm going, baby. Get them bets ready.
49ers just won.
That's right, baby.
Hey.
My boy feeling good.
Oh, yeah. You can't tell him nothing.
We up against it at Lambeau.
Super Bowl pick. Go. I asked this and I have no clue.
Yeah, you put us on the spot. I'm like, who?
It sucks because if Tampa didn't have Godwin out, them all easy.
All right.
Tampa easy.
I'm
Even,
taking-
I still probably got them as
Tennessee
a favorite.
Titans.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good pick too. If they get Derrick Henry
Tannehill
back,
knows.
The reach. They get it this time.
I like it.
Shout out to Steve McNair.
Yeah. And Kevin Dyson. I got the
Dyson,
Chiefs.
Eddie George.
Got the Chiefs, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going with
do.
Green Bay.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, you
hurtful.
know who you taking.
I'll take Tampa.
Take your team.
You gotta take your team.
Your team don't want to play.
the hell?
What they got?
I try to be. I'm objective.
Well, they don't have
I'm an
Garrison
objective.
Hurst back there in the backfield. JJ Stokes.
Garrison Hurst, man, he got hurt in the first play against the Falcons in the divisional '98. We had
That
that
was it.
one.
It was done.
97. When we get Rod Woodson on the show, 97. One year we had Rod Woodson. Just before the
Shout out to Rod
playoffs,
Woodson. You'll be on the show eventually.
Niners 13-3, home field advantage. Just before the playoffs, Jerry Rice done for the year. So
Disrespectful.
97, 90, we should have 7.
Second best receiver of all time. Without him, that's rough.
Jerry?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Who's number 1?
Randy.
Checking.
Oh, okay.
checking.
Yeah.
Freak.
Yeah, it's hard to argue Randy Moss.
You gotta
freak.
It's
be able to
hard.
run more than one route to be the
hard.
greatest receiver of
You
all
saying
time.
he can run his nines?
And you got to be
Go
able to,
across the middle.
and let me say
Can he
this.
go across the middle?
You got to be able to stop him running that one route. If he can only
Okay,
run
okay.
route and you can't stop it,
He wasn't
I mean-
better than T.O.
T.O. was a problem.
Play the
T.O. was a
music.
problem.
T.O.
Fire
go
the-
deep,
fire
cross the
music.
middle.
Fire the music.
This week, Carson's drinking breast milk.
You gestured to my cup. I was like, I don't know what he's going to say. It is.
It's breast milk. I heard
not,
it's,
but it is
heard
really
it's
good,
sweet and
though.
tangy.
Your baby here yet, man?
Nah, I ain't here yet. This is
Soon.
what's on the clock. I'm trying to. We got things to do, man.
I had to dream your baby got here and everything, man. What's going on?
That waffle color nigga ain't here yet.
No, all right.
He on the way though.
And with that being said, start the music.
Hey, my waffle color baby.
Shout out to all the waffle color babies out there. This
stay-
is the Portland
You got waffle
High.
color
And stay
babies.
tuned. You might get a live watch
Shout them
along
out.
with us.
Hey, y'all wanna be on Zoom when I had a baby?
I got a shortbread cookie, baby. 2 of them, shortbreads. I got shortbreads over here.
You
God bless y'all.
you got tamales.
What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ed. Follow me on IG Ed with 2 T's.
This is the Porter Way Podcast. This is Anthony Brunel, and this is Carson A. Merck. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
All right, just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then tell them, and then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Porter
You're
Way
here already.
Podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're gonna do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brendall.
Carson A. Merck. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.